Well, as creative director, I'm in charge of setting the vision for the whole project and then working with all the different directors and everybody on the team to make sure that we're all going, together in the same direction. I'm also in charge of quality, so I'm the guy that gets to say, yes, this is amazing and this needs a little bit more time or more love.
Well, let me back you up here. This looks amazing, and it should get some love. We got the preview running here of Splinter Cell Blacklist. And of course, Splinter Cell has a long-standing history of games, a long, great story to back it up. Where did we leave off with the last Splinter Cell game? Where does Blacklist pick up?
Well, before Blacklist, we had Splinter Cell Conviction, and Blacklist is basically 6 months after Conviction. So Sam kind of retired from working for the government. He's doing his own side thing, and then the engineers, the bad guys in the game, they released what they call the Blacklist, which is an ultimatum to the United States. They basically tell the United States, get your troops out of our countries or we're bringing the Blacklist to you. We're bringing terrorist attack on your soil. So when that happens, the president asks Sam to not only try to stop the Blacklist, but to become the leader of Fort Echelon, which is the unit that's going to be trying to stop the Blacklist from happening. And this, what we're watching now, is actually a much later mission in the game where the engineers have successfully attacked a liquid natural gas facility in Louisiana. So Sam's going in a bit after the attack has happened, and the first thing he needs to do is restart the whole systems of the refinery to be able to help, like the water extinguish the fires and all that. And there's also an engineer leader there that Sam needs to capture and ask some questions.
Well, I mean, you have a long-standing franchise here, a lot of fans. What are fans of this game going to feel really familiar with, and what's kind of going to be their new thing that might throw them for a loop?
Well, I think probably the thing that the fans are going to love is the return of Spy vs. Mercs. Spy vs. Mercs was this crazy, innovative, asymmetrical multiplayer that started in Pandora Tomorrow. So the idea is that it's spies, it's like third-person characters against first-person characters, right? So it's asymmetrical and it's very dynamic, and we've brought back. It was the #1 requested feature from Splinter Cell Conviction, so we brought that back. After that, obviously, we had a huge single-player campaign. We also have a lot of co-op. Co-op was something that people loved in Conviction, so we brought that back. Lots of missions, 14 missions playable in co-op. Most of them are also playable in single player. And I think what's cool, what we're doing is we've got an economy system that's rewarding you for how you play and how well you play, right? And this economy system is basically transversal through all our modes. So regardless if you're playing SP co-op or Spy vs. Mercs, you're going to be earning some money. The better you play, the more money you're going to make. And then you can customize Sam the way you want. You can also customize your Spy vs. Mercs character. And you can also upgrade the Fort Echelon headquarters, which is called the Paladin. So you can upgrade that also.
So you can be playing your Spies vs. Mercs, making bank in your competitive thing, going home in your single player and building a nice little Sam Fisher mansion.
Exactly. And now for E3, we've actually released an iOS game called Spider-Bot, and you can play that game, and the points you're going to earn on that game is going to be transferable to the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 SKU, so that you're able to take the money from the Spider-Bot game into your game.
So we got Sam Fisher here. He's leading the Fourth Echelon. Do we get any sort of leadership missions? Are we going to do any sort of group things here? Well, take a bunch of guys out?
This is actually a good example of that. Here now, Chris is actually going to use a sticky camera, and he's upgraded the sticky camera. He can mark some enemies with that. There's also sleeping gas on that sticky cam. So this is a more challenging part of the map. We've got 4 enemies here that are. They're more heavy enemies, so you can't attack them from the front. You need to get them from behind. So this is interesting. So so this mission, to answer your question, this mission is actually involving one of the main characters, which is Charlie, which is the hacker, if you want, right? So, and he's definitely talking with Sam the whole time, and we're going to see a little bit later, Charlie's going to be playing with the security systems of the place to help Sam capture the engineer.
And what other characters we're going to see that we fell in love with before? Who's coming back to help
obviously,
Sam?
Anna Grimsdottir's back, right? She's probably the person that the best person that works with Sam. She understands him and all that. But because of how Conviction ended, the beginning of Blacklist, they're a bit more not really in love anymore, let's say. And there's definitely some tension between them. So that's very interesting for us, exploring their relationship. And Charlie's a bit more of that guy that's like, what the hell's happening? Why are we doing this? This is crazy. You know, he's more the young guy. And we've got a new character who's the character that you're playing in co-op. His name is Briggs, and so he's like, when you're playing in co-op, you're playing Sam and Briggs. So that's kind of interesting. So here, Chris, you know, he attracted the guy with a sticky cam. He released some sleeping gas. He's executing the helmet flies up. He breathes the sleeping gas, falls asleep. And now I think Chris is going to use, he's going to use the incendiary grenade. So Chris likes to play stealth, and then he likes to just like finish off.
Congratulating him as taking the non-violent approach. So how many of these weapons, I mean, what is going to carry over into the multiplayer mode? Because some of the things that we see here in the storyline are a little bit OP, as we like to say.
Well, I mean, we've got, what's interesting with Spy versus Mercs is that the spies are really relying on the environment, they're relying on their ability to climb, they can be very vertical. Versus the Mercs, they're all about the ground, they're all about firepower. So obviously, we have a lot of the gadgets of Sam that are also given to the spies, but then for the Mercs, we've got a lot of different new gadgets that are very interesting. We're actually at our booth today, we're showing off one of our modes that we call Classic SVM, so that's 2 versus 2, and it's a more core version that we have for the fans.
Now, how do the 2 versus 2 dynamic objectives work as far as showing a screen?
So I think what's interesting is you've got 3 objectives, 3 stations that the spies need to go in and take control and hack. And for the Mercs, it's all about defending, right? So the Mercs, they're like the masters of the environment. They're defending, and the spies need to infiltrate. They need to not be seen. So it's kind of interesting. It's very there's a lot of tension, and so it's really cool. We're really excited. The Montreal team is doing that. The solo is made in Montreal, and the co-op is made in Shanghai. So it's a really big game. It's actually the first game that we made at Ubisoft Toronto. I love this. So death from above. Chris is gonna mark 1, mark 2, and then mark and execute in motion. There you go. Take out the 2 guys.
So what are your favorite, Sam Spy items here? Does he get anything cool, new, tricky?
I really like to play with the AI. I think it's like a chess game. You have as much fun as good as your opponent is, right? So I love playing with the AI. So the sticky camera is great for that. We also have a sticky noise maker that you just throw and then it makes some noise, and the AI, they check out. So it's really fun to just play with the AI and see what you're able to do.
And it looks like here Sam has succeeded because stuff is blowing up.
Yeah, we've made a little trailer at the end just to show like all the content we have. So we're showing that's the Blacklist when it's released to the world. And bring your troops home.
Excellent. And the story here, I mean, is this following still any sort of the novel? And how close are we sticking here to Tom Clancy?
Well, it's very Tom Clancy in the sense that it's realistic, right? And it's always great to work on a Tom Clancy game because of that. You always have those Tom Clancy values that are following you, that are forcing you to be innovative, to be current, to be realistic, to be credible. At the same time, it's fun because we've announced that we're doing a comic also that's telling the story of what happened between Conviction and Blacklist. So we have some pre-orders incentives and some collector editions that come with that, so that's really cool.
Right, so this is a comic series that you guys are developing in tandem, or is this just like a one-off book that's going to
Well,
be
we've got a couple of books that are coming, and it's really cool. We're working with Nathan, who wrote The Activity, and we're big fans of Nathan, so it's been fun working with him and to see what he could do with the franchise and make it his own. There you go.
Right. Well, that looks incredible. Thank you so much.